Hello, this is David Taylor Hughes from Sound Image Plus blog. One of the most long-running debates in recent years in digital photography has been, can mirrorless cameras like this one, the Panasonic GX8, actually compete with full-frame DSLRs? In this case, this is my Nikon D750. The general consensus seems to be that under certain circumstances, i.e. base ISO, micro four thirds can in fact compete. Image quality is not that different and in some cases can actually be better. If we think that this is a full frame camera, it's got a 3:2 image ratio and it's got 24 million pixels. If you crop that frame to a 4:3 ratio, similar to this, you get approximately 20 million pixels, which is what this camera has got. So in terms of image quality, they can actually be seen as comparable. You can actually do a serious comparison between the two. The common idea is that this will give you better image quality at higher ISOs than this, and that's generally over the years proved to be the case. But later on, when I've finished shooting this short video, I'm actually going to be setting these two up, comparing them like for like at various ISO settings, and basically see just how far apart they are as I move up the ISO scale. My idea is still, like everybody else, that this is going to perform better than this when we get beyond ISO 800, 1600, 3200 and upwards. But as I usually find with doing these tests, things are not always as simple as they seem, and my preconceptions can often get challenged. So I'm gonna find that out a bit later on. The other thing that people will put forward as a virtue for this is that in many ways it's a faster camera. It's quicker to operate, it focuses quicker, the whole operation of the thing is pretty efficient, pretty quick, and under most circumstances pretty reliable. And in certain circumstances you can see very much that that is the case. I've got this set up here on very high shutter burst. The camera is actually set up for JPEGs only, so it's not saving RAWs to the card, and this is what you get. As you can see, it takes a hell of a lot of shots before it actually stutters and stops. So if you're capturing action, if you're doing things where you want to get a lot of shots in a very short space of time, this is the one. But then say you actually want to see what you're doing as you're shooting, so I'll put the camera in live view, and just to compare the screen, this actually does flip up and out. It doesn't do anything like the Panasonic does, but it does move about. Obviously this is more useful for video than stills, because once you put it in that mode it's pretty useless. So we've got this. So that's the time it takes to focus. As you can hear, it's not particularly quick. So it's not that fast, and it's pretty noisy. So if you actually have a use for looking at your image through a view screen and trying to take pictures with it, this is maybe not the camera to get. Right, I've just stopped and started the video again because I've just gone and got an autofocus lens for the Panasonic. At the moment, what I've got on here is my Nikon 20mm f1.8 lens fitted with the remarkable Metabones 0.64 times crop speed booster, which is going to give me something approximating a 26.5mm full frame lens. But in terms of checking autofocus speed, I'm going to actually need to put on an autofocus lens. So I've just got the the basic 14 to 42 kit lens. Okay, we'll turn the camera on, take the lens cap out, that's always a good idea. Okay, so to start with, you've got this much better view screen idea, where basically you can flip it any way you want and it's constantly running. Obviously that has implications in terms of the battery life. The battery life on the Nikon is way better than the GX8. The GX8, according to Panasonic, will take between 300 and 350 shots. That's still images. I'm actually not convinced it does that many. Plus, when you start shooting things like 4K video, it starts to eat the power. So consequently, one of the advantages that DSLRs have got is obviously you can use them for longer, you can use them under more extreme conditions. When I've taken Nikons away for a trip for a week or so or something, I've rarely changed the battery within a few days. The amount that I shoot, it generally will keep going for about 2-3 days. So there is obviously quite an advantage in that. But in terms of focusing, that was it. The camera just focused, took the picture. I've got it set up on the silent electronic shutter, so to show you a few quick examples. I'm just whizzing about here, shooting whatever. As you can see, it's pretty quick, it's pretty silent. So in terms of a DSLR, it's a much quieter and just as fast. There's no real lag on this shutter. You can do the whole thing basically in as you can see, pretty quick. So that comparison between mirrorless cameras, well, this particular mirrorless camera, and DSLRs, things are maybe not like they used to be. These are now pretty quick cameras, and things like the recent Olympuses with their lightning fast AF are absolutely terrific. So which of these do I prefer? Well, probably at the moment I'm absolutely blown away by the GX8 and what it can do, and I think that it is actually very competitive with my D750. I don't see any particular speed advantages from this camera. Obviously I get a lot longer battery life from the Nikon, but at the moment that's about it. So that's a sort of general comparison of the two cameras, and what I'm going to be doing, like I said, when I finish shooting this, is setting them up and seeing how they compare in terms of the image quality that actually comes out of them, what the files actually look like. Are there any beneficial qualities that a full frame sensor has over a smaller sensor, a sensor that is in fact just half as big? So I'll be doing that a bit later, and all of this will be published probably sometime later today. Okay, thanks very much for listening. Bye.